Hey frag heads and fragrance lovers, welcome back. It's Benjamin here at the Scentitar Fragrance channel, coming back at you with another fragrance review. Today we're going to be talking about Hommeland from the House of Happyland Fragrances. In full disclosure, 100% honesty, this was sent to me from the house, and I am happy to be able to represent them and bring their fragrances out. Let me tell you about the notes real quick. I believe there's notes of citruses, vetiver, oak moss, and lavender. This is definitely meant to be more of a classic men's fragrance. Very heavy on the vetiver in my opinion. I have some sprayed over here. It's very strong in the opening. I do have to tell y'all that if you have sensitive noses, if you've experienced a lot of natural fragrances, I think that there is a real sharpness to this fragrance. To me, it almost has that chamomile type quality to the fragrance, and I don't really know what that's coming from. It has almost this waxy floral quality to it that really throws me off in a big way. But overall, the smell is not bad. I'm not trying to say that. The vetiver comes through. It's more of that dry, golden, hay-like vetiver. The citruses don't stick around too long, but it's more of those aged, more of like a lemon citrus, and it's quite nice. Lavender doesn't come out in a big way, in my opinion, in this fragrance. And the oak moss is in the dried down, adding a little bit of tone. But to me, this fragrance, the real heart of this fragrance, again, is that kind of golden, hay-like vetiver, and maybe a little bit of lavender, just rounding things out. This fragrance, to me, just has a little bit of that yellow tone. And that sharpness that's coming through, I think that there is some yellow aldehydes mixed in this batch. I think that there's some yellow aldehydes mixed in this fragrance. Certainly adding a vintage kind of tone, not old smelling, not bad, but adding a little bit of that vintage tone with like that yellow aldehydes. If you aren't familiar with yellow aldehydes and what those really are in fragrances, just think of something like Chanel No. 5. Chanel No. 5 is perhaps the most famous yellow aldehydic fragrance, and that's what the fragrance is really built upon and focused on. So to me, this doesn't smell like Chanel No. 5, but it certainly has some of a similar feel in a way to that fragrance. So overall, it's nice, it's charming, it certainly is masculine. I like Happyland fragrances that they bring something from the new and the old. This feels like a retro fragrance to me. It feels like something a little bit vintage, but also something modern, kind of brought together, and they build a bridge together to the modern day. It's not futuristic, it's not Tonka heavy and all the popular trends, the molecule-like fragrances, like eccentric molecules, like with Jeremy Fragrance's Office for Men, and it's also not completely on the other side that's really heavy on the oak moss and some of those more vintage notes. That's a heavy green fragrance, or it's not anything like either of those. This is somewhere in the middle. So what do I think about this fragrance? I have a tough time with this fragrance. I'm going to be completely honest with y'all. Y'all know how I am. Y'all know how I am about fragrances. I think it smells nice. I cannot get past this almost citronella-like smell from this fragrance. The citronella, the waxy aldehydes, or something like that, to some degree, to my nose, is coming through in a big way. To me, it's not something that I personally love. I don't gravitate towards citronella. To me, I live in the south of the United States, US of A, and the United States of America, and I grew around citronella candles, citronella. There was these funny little things we would use as a Boy Scout as well, that they were like green, and you would burn them throughout the night. I've been around DEET and mosquito repellent and all those things. To me, citronella is not something that I love. I think that if you are sensitive, and maybe if you dislike some of the Acqua di Parma fragrances in the past, that you might get that similar citronella vibe. You might even say slightly bug spray like from this fragrance. But it's not a terrible fragrance. It's not bad. Some people are going to get that, but I think they're going to be, like me, are probably going to be in the minority of things. Overall, this fragrance had good performance. It had, 6-7 hours For a fragrance that's a little bit brighter in composition, this actually is pretty good performance. The sillage was a little bit above average. The projection maybe slightly above average. It's a nice little fragrance. It's pretty wearable if you like retro fragrances. If you want something that's going to speak more to probably a gentleman out there, maybe 30 plus or 25 plus. I think that this could be a good fragrance for somebody who's a little bit mature at heart. You know, this might be a good fragrance for you, but for me personally, it's not something that's something that's near and dear to my heart. Anyways, what do I think about the compliment factor? I wore this out and about. I do live in a place where people like and appreciate things like Dior Fahrenheit, Davidoff Cool Water, and some of the more macho masculine fragrances. So people actually did like this fragrance, but I got more positive attention from more of the dudes, the guys. You know, I'd see a gentleman or somebody who'd be like your Uncle Tom, and he'd be, you know, at the hardware store. Those kinds of guys who are 35 plus or so, and you know, they give you the thumbs up. They think you're smelling nice, and I think a lot of guys might be just like this fragrance. Ladies wise, this is not something that really attracted the ladies. It's not something that the ladies were gravitating towards, but they do think it smells gentlemanly, and they do think it smells fairly nice. They don't think the quality's bad. It's just not something that they like. Vetiver, for a lot of people, is a little bit of a tough note to love and a tough note to understand, especially in the designer world. There's not a lot of vetiver-focused fragrances, and this is kind of what that suffers from. There's not... this fragrance, again, with the vetiver, this is not going to be as mass appealing as you might think, but it's a good fragrance for sure. This fragrance, with my final thoughts, again, you can get a bottle for, I think they're $60 if you look, and I think they have this is the smaller size, the 30 mils, the 1 ounce, and the prices on these are not bad. I think the quality has always been here with Happyland fragrances. I think that these are perfume extracts. They are perfume extracts, and you're going to get good performance out of these. You know, EJ is not out here to make a quick buck. He's not here to cheat anybody, and he is putting, you know, good quality fragrances together for people out there. I hope I haven't sounded negative about this fragrance. I do respect this creation. It's just not something that I gravitate towards. I do like some vintage styling fragrances. I like Platinum Egoist. I love my Lalique Pour Homme. I love those fresh, crisp fragrances that are like aromatic and more Italian in style. And I really do love some of those fragrances. But this one, to me, isn't just not something that I love. I don't like the aldehydic feel, and I don't really love vetiver in a big way either for my personal taste. If you're a younger guy out there, there's a few bottles out there still of, you know, Bulgari Man Extreme. I do recommend that for a younger guy who maybe wants this vibe. And if you want something more modern, Fat Electrician by Etat Libre d'Orange is probably the better way to go. And Starry Nights by Montal is kind of a similar creation, distantly in a way. But if you're a retro guy, if you like masculine fragrances, if you think a lot of fragrances out there do not suit your masculine taste, if you think a lot of fragrances need to have a little bit more of the taste of the past, I think that this is going to be a good creation. Something that you like and something that you appreciate. So definitely check this one out. This is my review, and this is my opinion. This was a pretty opinionated review overall. Pretty opinionated. And EJ, if you watch this video, if you hear what I'm doing, you know, I'm so grateful that you sent this to me for review. It's an amazing creation, and I'm going to do a giveaway, and I'm going to pass this one on to somebody else out there in the fragrance world who would enjoy this one. It's a good creation. You did a good job, my friend and my man. You did a good job. But, of course, we all have different taste. If you're looking for my taste, if you have similar taste to me, I would probably recommend you go either for Blue Fire, for something that's a little bit ambergris heavy, a little bit blue, a little bit versatile, or on the other hand, you can go for Rhyolite. Rhyolite isn't overtly smoky. To some people it is, but to me it's a very beautiful, almost incensey caramel fragrance. It's very beautiful. It's a very interesting kind of twist on what a gourmand can be, and I heavily recommend Rhyolite. I think Rhyolite is my favorite from Happyland, and I really do recommend it. So check out this fragrance. Let me know what you think. Have you tried it? Does it sound good? Does it sound bad? Let me know in the comment section below. And while you're at it, please like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, share the video, tell a friend. And when you do hit that notification bell, please hit all notifications. If you don't hit notifications, YouTube won't ever tell you about my content, and you'll miss out. So I'll see you next time, my friends. Have a good one. Have a fantastic one. Good fragrance here from Happyland, and I'll see you next time, everybody. Have a good one, and bye.